Welcome back to the channel. As you know, the Xbox 360 store is closing, and that's causing physical game prices for the console to, in our opinion, have a little bit of a temporary spike.
Yes.
There's some FOMO going on, but we figured let's pull our top 10 most expensive Xbox 360 games because we hadn't really dug into what we had in our collection.
Yeah, it's wild. A few months ago, we did our top 10 most expensive games in our collection as a whole.
Yeah.
But the 360 is getting crazy price-wise, and a lot of the games we did not get for these prices, and some of these games we got for like $1 at garage sales, so it's wild that these games are spiking in price.
Yeah.
Don't go out and buy them for these prices, but I thought it'd be fun to just show what we have and see what they're going for, at least on price chart.
Well, and I think the value that maybe somebody could take from this is just keep your eyes peeled for this stuff. Because,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
To your point, this is stuff that we have had for a while. I haven't jumped online and bought any of this stuff. This is just stuff we have found out at pawn shops, thrift stores, garage sales, etc. But let's jump right in to the number 10 most expensive Xbox 360 game in our collection. Mayhem.
Mayhem. This is a recent addition to the collection. This is a really cool car game, derby style game, black and white with some red. It's really cool and unique, but really fun.
It kind of scratches that burnout itch. I mean, I talked about it a little bit on a YouTube short that we did a while back. It's a fun game. I don't think it was reviewed super well, but I like the mechanics and the way the game, you go through the game is like various little challenges, and then you rank a certain, however you do, and then that it kind of progresses like a burnout game does.
And I like arcade style, and then also like black and white styled video games. It kind of reminds me of like that game on the Wii, Mad World or whatever. That game's really cool. This game is going for $41.06. We did not get it for that. We got it for way cheaper. But I think it's a game that a lot of people don't know about, so that's probably why it is a little bit more expensive. But 41, that's not bad for it.
Yeah, and this game was supposed to come with 3D glasses. My copy does not have those, but you can play this game in 3D if you have one of those 3D enabled TVs, which is kind of older technology at this standpoint, I think, which is kind of weird. But nonetheless, I would recommend checking this out. I think I found this at a consignment shop for like $5 or $6.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now moving on to number 9. Number 9, most expensive Xbox 360 game in our collection is Lollipop Chainsaw. This game comes in at $42.35 according to PriceCharting.com. What's wild about this game is I didn't expect this game to be up in this value because they're releasing a new. So maybe when they release the new one, this will drop.
Yeah.
This game's really fun. It's a hack and slash. You play as a cheerleader and you kill zombies.
Yeah. It's a chainsaw.
Yeah, it's
gory.
It's over the top. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. It does get a little repetitive, but I like hack and slashes, so I have fun with this. It blows my mind that it's going for $42, but it's a fun game.
Yeah, remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, is coming out. So if you want to play it, maybe that's the route you want to go. But nonetheless, fun game, expensive on the 360, in the PS3. I guess I should say, $42 is not that expensive when you're talking about new games being $70.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Yeah.
When we've found these games or have been finding these games for a couple bucks, it's kind of like, oh, $42 for an Xbox 360 game? Yeah.
I would never guess that.
Number 8 on our list, Deadly Premonition.
Ooh,
Twin Peaks-esque style of game. If you like that kind of stuff, I think you would like this. If you're going into this like expecting an amazing, earth-shattering survival horror experience, I don't know that it's going to give you that, but it's a fine game. I think, in all pockets of various consoles, that survival horror style tends to hold value.
Yeah, it does. Usually if you have a survival horror game, it goes up. This game is fine. There are better survival horror games for the 360, and there's actually another one coming up later in our list that we have. But if you're into that style, it is worth checking out. This game is going for $43, so still not terrible. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if this game long-term goes up because survival horror goes up.
Yeah, I would agree. Let's move on to number 7. Number 7, a Silent Hill game.
Yes, I just hinted at this.
Yeah, Silent Hill games tend to just be kind of expensive. This one's coming in right now at like $52.47.
Yep.
Silent Hill Downpour, one of the only Silent Hill games that I have in the collection that I haven't played.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this game, to be honest. I think, did we recently get this or something?
No, I got this when a Family Video was closing and it was a fire sale.
Oh, damn, so you got this for super
long time
cheap,
ago,
and now it's gone for $50.
Yep.
I am curious about it because the Silent Hill games are really fun, and I do like it. I think, what is it, on PS3, Homecoming or something like that? That's a fun one, but I haven't played this one. I'm sure it's great, but $53, we're starting to climb in price.
And guess what? 3D enabled.
Oh, but we don't have the TV.
Yeah.
Damn it. or the number 6 most expensive Xbox 360 game in our collection is the Naughty Bear Gold Edition, and this blows my mind because this shouldn't be going for $53.
Yeah.
This is stupid because it's a decent game, it's fun, it's whatever, but this game was available everywhere.
Yeah.
I saw it at garage sales left and right like the past couple years.
Dude, how many times do you think we've left that behind?
Oh, because I'm like, we already have it,
Yeah,
and it's going for $1.
Yeah.
This is like one of the most common Xbox 360 games, and for some odd reason, it's going up in price. I don't know why. I think it's the FOMO, but again, don't buy it for that because it was everywhere. But it includes the original game plus all 3 DLC chapters, so that's kind of fun. The Gold Edition, I don't know. It blows my mind that it's this expensive.
It's a funny game. There's some fun to be had. It is flawed. There is a digital only, I think, sequel to the game that is on the store, so you may want to grab that before it closes if you're a Naughty Bear fan. I don't know how many people classify themselves as like, you know what, I'm a hardcore Naughty Bear fan, but maybe that's you.
I think that's it. When they're saying that, it's not about video games.
I'm pretty sure this was another game I got at that closing of the family video. I got so many 360 games from
but
there.
also, like, yeah, if we didn't have it, we could have got that for $1.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to me. There's so many games that are spiking in value that are comments.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's so weird.
Moving on, this is the number 5 most expensive Xbox 360 game in our collection, and it's a ripper, Splatterhouse.
Oh, dude, this game is awesome.
Yes.
This game has been kind of expensive for a while, but this game is so fun, and this game is actually really hard.
Yes.
If you played the original Splatterhouses, you know that they're fun and they're cool. This game is tough. I think if you beat the game, you unlock the older versions of the Splatterhouse, which is badass.
Yeah, I think there's Splatterhouse 1 and 2 is unlockable on here,
Which
or
is so
all
cool.
three original games, yeah. Which, if you're okay with playing them on a 360, hell of a value, because if you want to get those 3 games physically, look out.
Yeah,
So-
that's when you're talking about pricey.
Yeah.
But this game is really fun. I feel like this is a game that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's a great entry in the Splatterhouse series, you know. But be warned, it is tough, and you will get your ass kicked.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on to the next game in our collection that's super expensive. That's Saw, a Konami game on the 360. This game is actually really cool.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot. This game is approaching $60 physically, which is wild, but it might keep going up because it's a fun survival horror-esque game, but also a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Like you wander around and you're trying to solve these puzzles. It feels like you're in the movies.
Yeah.
This game is real, like, Saw freaks me out, but this game is fun.
Yeah, the puzzles are a great time. This game, I think people maybe slept on a little bit, just because, you know, that movie license type of deal. There's another licensed movie game coming up in our collection.
there
It's
is,
a ripper as well. This game, I think, is totally worth it. Saw 2, which we don't have, but I have played before on the PS3. I don't like that one as much as this.
Okay,
And that one is expensive as well, but this, I think, is worth it. If you're into the Saw movies, you will really like this.
Or if you're into puzzle style games, this game is so fun. It's approaching $60, so maybe see if you can get it digitally. I don't know if it's available on the eStore, or see if you can get it for a good price, because I think this game needs to be played.
Yeah, I don't think this one is on the eShop, but I'm glad I have it. And guess what? There's a family video sticker in the middle.
So you got it for super cheap.
I think I got this game for like $2. So yeah, pretty wild.
Speaking of movie games, the next one is X-Men Origins Wolverine. This game is bad to the ass. This is $61.03. If you ever wanted to feel like Wolverine, this is the way to do it. This is like,
the thing is, we know that you have had that thought before.
everybody has. Wolverine is like one of the best characters.
Yeah.
It's one of the best movie video games ever.
I'm not going to argue with that.
So good.
It would be hard. I'm hard pressed to rip one. You know, Terminator on Sega CD.
Yes,
I would
that's
put up
up there.
there. Batman on the NES. Deadpool. This is in that.
It's in the discussion.
Yeah.
Top 5, top 10 of best movie video games. Dude, it's just when you do the lunges, you just feel powerful. It looks great. It plays great. I think this is worth the price it's going for. You could probably find it for cheap if you're lucky and keep your eyes peeled, but you gotta play this game. You gotta play this
One
game.
thing that stands out to me about this game too is it's got that M rating, and it's a Marvel game. So you modern day Marvel stuff, I feel like they kind of padded a little bit. This game is violent as hell.
It's so gory because you're just tearing people apart with your claws, dude. It is so fun.
Very cool game. Getting kind of expensive in that $60 range. It's also expensive on the PS3. but I think it's worth it. I mean, you're talking the price of a new game. So again, expensive in relation to what things were not that long ago. This game, probably a year or so ago, though, was still about $30 if you wanted to grab it. So,
but I definitely think it's worth it. Like, if you haven't played this, check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know that the Xbox 360 is going to go down being remembered as a console for spaceship shooters.
Oh, yes.
You know we love our shooters, our shmups. Dodonpachi Resurrection.
Oh.
This game, Baltimore Retro Gamer recommended this to me years and years and years ago, and it's a game that we imported, so keep that in mind. But this game goes for like 60-ish bucks right now. But this game is a ripper.
Dude, if you like shmups, this is a fantastic shmup. It's also a game that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about.
Yep.
I love the colors. I love the way it plays. It is getting kind of pricey. We did not pay $60 for it, but I do think we paid a little bit for it. It's not like we found it for $1 because we did have to import it, but it is so fun. If you're into shmups, check this one out. I don't think it's available on the eShop.
No, and here's another thing, you know, if you like these bullet hell style of games, this one does work on a North American console. There are some 360 games, we've had that comment before, is it region free? Sometimes. That's the answer.
Yeah, it's weird.
Some games are, some games aren't. This one happens to work in a North American console, so you don't have to worry about that if you decide that you want to try this one out.
I definitely would recommend this game. The next game we're going to talk about and the last game we're going to talk about, I'm going to say I don't recommend it, and especially for this price.
But it happens to be the most expensive game in our collection. So, yeah.
And that game is Bullet Witch. Why the hell is this game going up in price? I don't know, but at the filming of this game is approaching $90 for physical. This is a fine third-person shooter. Kind of reminds me of Bayonetta a little bit, but worse. This game is definitely dated. Like, I feel like when this game came out, you would have been like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
But going back to it, you're like, ugh.
It's definitely one that I can't even really recommend. If you found a good deal on it, I'd probably flip the damn thing.
Yeah.
There's so many better games in this style. I appreciate what they were trying to do, and like you mentioned, when this came out, it was probably pretty dope.
Yeah, it was probably pretty cool.
I think the reason the price of this is going up is, one, it came with like a poster. And then it has a reversible cover. You know, this is kind of the era where maybe the manuals weren't the thickest. It does have a nice, thick manual, so for people that are physical collectors, but I will tell you this.
It's not a good game.
I have sold at least a handful of copies of this, and that's why ours is complete, because I Frankensteined it together. But I still find this game quite a bit. Unless you're like, I want that game to play it, and I want to play it right now. All these games on this list, we did not make this episode to instill FOMO.
No.
Just go around and look. There are places, pawn shops in our area, that they price everything eBay prices. But there are some that just flat rate it. They just say everything from the Xbox 360 is $5. Sometimes that's not a good deal. But
other times
it's a really good deal.
Bullet Witch for $5?
Yeah.
Let me flip that. This game is available on the eShop marketplace for the 360.
It is like 30-ish bucks,
yes.
I think.
So if you do want to play it, it's kind of expensive on that, but it's a third of the price physically. And man, for 30, I don't even think it's worth it for $30.
I don't either. Honestly, if we were to do like rank these in the order of what's the best game, I would put this in last place.
This is last place for sure. I'd rather play all these. This, Naughty Bear, I think those two are the bottom of the bottom barrel. Naughty Bear's fine, but this game sucks.
Yeah.
Like, and it blew my mind that I think at one point it was over $100.
Yeah, and
like,
I think it's gonna just be one of those weird ones. There's no explanation for it. It doesn't even have that like bad game charm. You know, like, you guys, maybe if you follow the channel for a while, like, there are some games you're probably like, why do you guys like Scud on the Sega Saturn? Well, I think it's awesome.
Scud's badass.
Yes! You were down to the Hank Grip.
I know.
Why do you like Devil's Third on the Wii U? I think Devil's Third, although flawed, is a really fun game. This doesn't even have that kind of charm.
No, it's just, it's not fun. I'm sure some people like it, some people have fun with it, and that's totally fine. People have different opinions.
Yep.
I just don't like it, and I don't understand why it's going for so much, but that's our most expensive game.
Yeah.
Which is wild, because before all this FOMO and everything was going on, this game was on the shelf, and we were just like, whatever, and we got it for like $10 maybe.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing that a 360 collection that was mostly procured from Family Video that I was like, it's never going to have any value. And then one day we were down here, and one of us was, maybe you, or like, Naughty Bear's like $50 now.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
what? No. No. And I looked it up. Yeah,
Think
sure
about
is.
how many. If I would have known that 2 years ago, we would have had stacks of it, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, the thing about this 360 run, I've already said, don't fall into the trap. You're gonna find these games and all that stuff. But don't let this scare you away from getting into the console, because there are still so many titles that are great and worth playing that are dirt cheap. The Gears of War games, the Halos, a lot of stuff is still very, very affordable. These are just some of the weird anomalies that are popping off for whatever reason.
And you can still find this stuff out at garage sales, yard sales, thrift stores, pawn shops, whatever. So you can still get a good deal, and the console is fairly cheap. So I think now is the great time to jump into into this generation. We talked about that last week in last week's video. But like the PS3, the 360, and the Wii, like now's a great time to collect for it because the games are cheap and you can still find them and they still look and play great. Like, man, you fire up X-Men Origins Wolverine on a flat screen TV, turn the sound up.
It's a ripper.
Dude, you're going to be playing that the rest of the night.
The only games on this list that over the last 2 to 3 years I haven't seen out in the wild is Splatterhouse and the Dodonpachi game.
Yeah,
that shooter is an import. But I've never seen Splatterhouse out and about, so I don't think it probably had a very high install base. But the rest of this stuff is pretty widely available.
Yeah, that's what's so weird about some of these prices is these are common games for the most part, and they're climbing in price. I think it's the FOMO and everything. So I don't know. Once the store closes, are they going to spike in price, or in a few months, is it going to go back to normal? I don't know. It's just fun to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about
this beer by Barntown. This is the Mango Wheat.
Yeah.
This is straightforward American wheat beer brewed with mango.
Yeah, so I wanted to grab, we featured this brewery several times on the channel. It's an Iowa brewery, Barntown, and we always do their wacky sours.
Yeah.
So I grabbed their just most staple, I got an ale, and I got this wheat beer.
Yes.
I think we've done their staple house IPA, the Neon before.
Yep.
And I was just like, I want to try just some of their normal beers. We know their sour game is wacky, it's crazy. You know, we've had the strawberry shortcake and all these different ones.
PB&J, Trail Mix.
My opinion, it's an okay wheat beer. I like my wheat beers more on like the Hefeweizen side than just
more weedy.
Yeah, but this is okay. I think a good maybe summer beer for folks.
This would be a good beer on a hot summer day. I just had to say that. I usually don't lean towards wheat beers. Like, I'm more of an IPA guy or a sour guy, or if it's wintertime, stouts. But wheats do have their place, and, like, if you, like, finish mowing the lawn or something, doing some yard work, and you crack this bad boy, it's refreshing. You got a great fresh mango taste. Not super strong on the wheat, and it's a light, easy drinker. So if that's what you're into, it does scratch that itch.
Yeah.
I just don't normally go towards wheats.
Yeah.
So, but if you're big into wheats, I think you would really like this.
Yeah.
I think my mom is big into wheats, so.
Yeah, very entry-level craft beer vibe to it, but don't let that take away from Barntown. They are one of the best breweries in the state. I just am not a huge fan
I feel like
of
you
this
got
release.
I feel like a brewery, like they make crazy sours, but you still got to have normal beer.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you got to be able to make normal beer for the masses, you know. Yeah. And it's not bad. Like, I'm enjoying it, you know, nice easy drinker, so.
It's not too shab. Anyway, just wanted to peel back the curtain and look at our top 10 most expensive Xbox 360 games in the comment section below. Let us know, what is your most expensive Xbox 360 game? Did you have any of these just sitting around sleeping on your shelf and you're like, holy cannoli? I had no idea it was worth that much. We'd love to talk about it in the comments. We always appreciate you tuning in and subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you on the next episode of the one and only Gaming Off the Grid.